Greetings, this is Joseph Yusuf at JohnTheHutDweller channel. My next upcoming videos I'm going to make on Aryans, how the Desis of India are and Persians of Iran are quote-unquote white because they are. I will make one about Mormonism, uh, smoking, and the Orthodox Church. An explanation film on Suboxone, and a review of the destructive AZT that was used to treat HIV/AIDS in the early 90s and late 80s is requested from my sister on here. But right now I'd like to mention something in this video. James White is a Protestant, but it's so strange because he keeps quoting from the Church Fathers and he knows church history. So I have to ask myself, why is he a Protestant? His refutation on Islam is beautiful. I mean, I watched a debate with him just last night, him between this other Islamic quote-unquote scholar who was no scholar, who was just a kid off the street who had read Bart Ehrman's book and thought he could prove Christianity wrong. And it's hilarious because it shows the inconsistency of Islam. It shows Islam is a lie because he says, well, everything in the Quran is proven because it's a miracle from God, and God gave it, and we know it because Muhammad said it, and he's a prophet of God, so therefore the Quran is infallible because it's made by Muhammad, and Muhammad was real because, or Muhammad was truth because the Quran is a perfect book, and we know the Quran is a perfect book because Muhammad said it was a perfect book. And then when it comes to Christianity, he uses these very critical atheistic statements that discount Islam as well, but he doesn't recognize that. He says, oh, the New Testament's a lie, it's fabrication. This is somebody who doesn't know that a textual corruption is a misspelling of a word or a misplaced comma. Uh, not what he was saying, not even Bart Ehrman would say. Islam is the depths of ignorance, and it really is. I don't think Christians should ever argue with people on this because the Muslims won't listen. I think what the topic should bring up is the fact that the Quran is blatantly pornographic. That Muhammad, after killing a woman's husband, father, brother, and children, took that woman and raped her and took her as one of his wives, Sophia. The child bride situation, the fact that Muhammad lied, that he was not merciful, that he broke all his dealings with, broke all his peace treaties with the pagans, claiming that God told him to break the peace treaties. That when he was in Mecca, he preached a very kind of peaceful kind of message, passive resistance. But as soon as he got power, all the enemies that he was supposed to be praying for, and I wouldn't do that, he cut off their heads, killed them, burned their children. And the lie that, oh, the Islam wasn't spread by the sword, it's a blatant lie, and the Muslims are brainwashed into believing that. Look at how the Byzantine Empire was bathed in blood by the Muslim horde, by the Ishmaelite quote unquote. I think this is where we should be attacking them on moral ground because it's immoral, it's wicked. A child can see how wicked it was. This is what turned me from Islam to Christianity, because I looked at Prophet Muhammad and I saw him to be a liar, a sex addict, a pedophile, and just a mean SOB. The problem is, people say, oh, you can't say that about that because what if they said that about Christianity? There's no grounds to say that about Christianity. But if a psychotic pervert pedophile invented their religion right now, everybody would say that guy's crazy. And that's what the pagans said. It was revolting to the pagans for him to take a child bride at 6. People say, oh, that was normal. No, in almost every culture across the world, you didn't take a bride until after puberty. Everybody knows that. That's something basic. Okay, I would encourage you to look at James White's channel, Dr. Oakley, and it's got some numbers after it, but you can just type in James White, you can see his channel. If you James White, Islam, you'll see, if you type that into YouTube, you will see a debate with him with somebody named Ghulam, his last name, and James White shreds this man to pieces, his argument. Uh, Muslims can never. I always want to debate Christianity, talking about, oh, let's talk about the Bible. Is Jesus really this? You know what? Let's go to the important thing. If you can prove Muhammad is a liar and a sinner and the breaker of God's law and a heretic and a blasphemer, you don't need to listen to what he said about Jesus. He's already a liar. For them to, oh, the Gnostics, well, they had the truth when everything else they said was a lie, according to the Muslims. Now, if somebody wants to say, yeah, the Gnostics were the true religion, try to defend it from there, I would have to say, okay, we just have to agree to disagree. But the Muslims using Gnostic Gospels to support their claims is ridiculous. And the only thing that it can show is that Islam was feeding off of this Gnosticism that had already been rejected, while they still call the Gospels, the Injil, that, oh, they're because Allah in the Quran actually tells you to read the New Testament. So it's too much for this video. I'll make another video, but I just want to tell you, when you talk to Muslims, don't let them come on your ground. Talk to them about their Quran and their Muhammad, because Sahih al-Bukhari says that there were tons more chapters of the Quran, one 3 times as long as Surah al-Baqarah, the longest surah in the Quran. Also, I think we should remember Aghi Bukhari, who died yesterday. Soldier fighting for Iraq, a Muslim. Aghi is short for Akbar. I think we should remember him to know that the Muslim is separate from Islam. The Muslims who served in the Iraq War, yes, they're not my Christian brothers, but they are fighting against Islam, and we should remember that. We are at war with Islam. We have to be. To submit to it is to be dead. We should remember that do not attack the Muslim, attack Islam. Because the Muslims are under the captivity of a wicked, horrible, sexualized religion. And we need to be merciful to them and bring them the message. They are the goal. They are the trophy to be won. It's not how they look at us that we're to be killed and conquered and taxed and submitted until we feel ourselves subdued and pay the jizya tax. Our goal for them is different than their goal for us, and we should remember this. Peace to you. Hope you all have a blessed Dormition fast.